What if I told you that the key to unlocking stable blood sugar, renewed energy, and a sharper mind after 70 isn't found in a new prescription, but right in your own kitchen pantry? It might sound too simple, almost unbelievable, especially when we've been led to believe that managing our health in our golden years is an impossibly complex battle. For decades, we've been handed a script. Aging inevitably means more medication, more doctor's visits, and a slow decline. But what if that script is fundamentally flawed? What if one of the most common pieces of health advice given to our generation is actually accelerating the very problems we're trying to solve? My name is Dr. Robert Anderson, and for over 3 decades, I've had the privilege of working with thousands of seniors at centers across the country, from the bustling clinics of New York City to the community health programs in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona. I've dedicated my career to the science of aging well, and I've seen firsthand the confusion and frustration that surrounds blood sugar management. Many of my patients come to me feeling defeated. They're meticulously counting carbs, taking their medications on time, and yet their blood sugar readings still resemble a wild roller coaster ride. They feel tired, foggy-headed, and robbed of the vitality they deserve. The prevailing myth they've all been told is that managing diabetes or prediabetes is solely about how much you eat. This is a dangerous oversimplification. The truth, which I've seen transform lives time and time again, is that what you eat is profoundly more important. The modern American diet, even the parts we think are safe, is saturated with hidden enemies, foods that are specifically engineered to sabotage your body's ability to regulate glucose. Today, I want to pull back the curtain and expose 5 of these culprits. These aren't exotic, rare ingredients. They are everyday staples, likely sitting in your refrigerator or on your pantry shelf right now. By understanding why they are so detrimental and learning the simple, delicious swaps you can make, you can take back control of your health, not in weeks or months, but starting with your very next meal. This isn't about deprivation, it's about strategic replacement. It's about empowering you with the knowledge to make choices that serve your body, instantly and effectively. The journey to stable blood sugar begins with a single, powerful decision: to look beyond the marketing and understand what's really in our food. Let's start with the most pervasive offender, a habit so ingrained in American culture that questioning it seems almost sacrilegious. I'm talking about the sweet, bubbly, and deceptively dangerous liquids we drink every day. The first food group to replace is sugary beverages. This category is broader than you might think. It's not just the classic colas. We're talking about sweetened iced teas, commercially prepared lemonades, fruit punch, sports drinks, and, perhaps most shockingly, fruit juices. For years, the common wisdom, even among some health professionals, was that a glass of orange juice was a healthy start to the day. It comes from fruit, so it must be good for you, right? This is one of the most damaging misconceptions for seniors managing blood sugar. The problem is that when you strip the fiber away from the fruit, you're left with a concentrated shot of sugar, fructose, that hits your bloodstream like a tidal wave. A single 12-ounce glass of orange juice can contain nearly 40 grams of sugar, the equivalent of almost 10 teaspoons. Your body simply isn't equipped to handle that kind of rapid sugar infusion, forcing your pancreas to work overtime to produce insulin. Over time, this relentless demand can lead to insulin resistance, the hallmark of type 2 diabetes. Sodas and other sweetened drinks are no better, delivering a payload of high fructose corn syrup and other additives that offer zero nutritional value while sending your glucose levels soaring. The importance of eliminating these drinks cannot be overstated. Think of your blood sugar as a calm lake. Every time you consume one of these sugary beverages, you're tossing a massive boulder into it, creating violent waves that take hours to settle. These repeated spikes and crashes are what leave you feeling exhausted in the afternoon, irritable for no reason, and plagued by brain fog. More critically, for a senior, these fluctuations are incredibly dangerous. They strain your cardiovascular system, damage delicate blood vessels in your eyes and kidneys, and contribute to inflammation, which is a root cause of countless age-related diseases, from arthritis to heart disease. A study from the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health found a direct, alarming link between the consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages and a higher risk of coronary artery disease. Giving up these drinks isn't just about your A1C number, it's about protecting your heart, your vision, your kidneys, and your overall quality of life. The solution is both simple and deeply satisfying. Replace these sugar bombs with beverages that hydrate and heal. Water should be your new best friend. It is the essential fluid your body craves for every single metabolic process, including glucose regulation. Aim for 6 to 8 glasses a day. If you find plain water boring, infuse it. Add slices of lemon, cucumber, a sprig of mint, or a handful of berries to a pitcher of water and let it sit in the refrigerator. You'll get a delightful, refreshing flavor with virtually no impact on your blood sugar. Unsweetened iced tea, both black and green, is another fantastic option, rich in antioxidants. And if you crave that bubbly sensation, switch to sparkling water or seltzer. You can add a squeeze of fresh lime or a splash of cranberry juice. Be sure it's 100% juice and just a splash for flavor to mimic the experience of a soda without the sugar. I remember a patient of mine, a 74-year-old gentleman from Austin, Texas, named Frank. Frank was a proud grandfather who loved his daily routine, which included a big glass of sweetened iced tea with his lunch and another with dinner. He came to me with a fasting blood sugar of 180 mg/dL, and he was deeply worried about losing his independence. He was already on medication, but nothing seemed to be working. I looked at his food log, and the 80+ grams of sugar from his iced tea habit jumped right off the page. He was reluctant to give it up, claiming, "Water is for washing dishes." So we made a deal. For just 1 week, he would swap his sweet tea for unsweetened iced tea with a generous squeeze of fresh lemon. He called me 3 days later, his voice filled with an excitement I hadn't heard before. "Doc," he said, "I don't know what's in that lemon, but my morning sugar was 135 mg/dL today. I haven't seen a number that low in years." By the end of the month, Frank had lost 5 pounds. His energy was through the roof, and his fasting glucose was consistently in the low 120s. He'd made just one simple change, but it had set off a chain reaction of healing throughout his body. If you found this information helpful, please type the number 1 in the comments below. If it wasn't useful for you, please type 0 so we can improve our future content. Now, let's move from your glass to your plate and tackle the next major offender, refined grains. This is the category that includes fluffy white bread, pearly white rice, most pastas, and baked goods like bagels and pastries. These foods have become the foundation of the standard American diet, prized for their soft texture and long shelf life. But that convenience comes at a steep price for your metabolic health. The refining process strips the grain of its most valuable components, the bran and the germ. The bran contains the vast majority of the fiber, and the germ holds the essential vitamins and healthy fats. What's left is the starchy endosperm, which is little more than a chain of glucose molecules. When you eat a slice of white bread, your digestive system breaks it down with incredible speed, converting it into sugar almost as fast as if you had eaten from the sugar bowl directly. The problem with the old advice to simply eat less bread is that it doesn't address the core issue of quality. A sandwich made with 2 slices of whole grain bread has a dramatically different effect on your body than the same sandwich made with white bread, even if the calorie counts are similar. Refined grains have a very high glycemic index, a measure of how quickly a food raises your blood sugar. Consuming them regularly puts you on that same blood sugar roller coaster we discussed with sugary drinks. This constant demand for insulin not only promotes insulin resistance, but also tells your body to store fat, particularly around the midsection, the dangerous visceral fat that surrounds your organs and fuels inflammation. For seniors, this is especially concerning. Maintaining a healthy weight is crucial for joint health and mobility, and the empty calories from refined grains work directly against that goal. Furthermore, the lack of fiber in these foods contributes to digestive issues, a common complaint among older adults, and leaves you feeling hungry and unsatisfied, leading to overeating later in the day. Making the switch to whole, unrefined grains is a fundamental step in regaining control. The key is fiber. The fiber in whole grains acts like a brake, slowing down the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates. This means the glucose is released into your bloodstream slowly and steadily, providing sustained energy without the dramatic spikes and crashes. This single change can lower your risk of developing type 2 diabetes and, if you already have it, make it significantly easier to manage. When shopping, you must become a label detective. Look for the words 100% whole wheat or 100% whole grain as the first ingredient. Terms like multigrain or wheat flour are often misleading marketing tactics for what is still a highly refined product. Instead of white rice, explore the wonderful world of brown rice, quinoa, barley, and farro. These ancient grains are not only better for your blood sugar, but also offer a richer, nuttier flavor and a more satisfying texture. Swap your standard pasta for whole wheat pasta, or, even better, experiment with alternatives made from chickpeas or lentils, which provide an extra boost of protein and fiber. Let me tell you about Margaret, an 81-year-old retired schoolteacher from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Margaret loved her morning routine of 2 slices of white toast with jam. Her blood sugar was stubbornly high, and she was battling constant fatigue. She insisted that she was eating healthy because she used sugar-free jam. I explained to her that the toast itself was likely the bigger culprit. She was skeptical, as that toast was a comfort food she'd enjoyed for 60 years. We started small. I asked her to try just 1 slice of a dense, sprouted whole grain bread instead of her 2 slices of white. Sprouted grain bread is even easier to digest and has a very low glycemic impact. To her surprise, she found that the single, hearty slice was far more filling than her old toast. Within 2 weeks, her after-breakfast blood sugar readings had dropped by an average of 30 points. Emboldened, she started experimenting. She swapped her white rice for quinoa with her chicken dinner and her regular pasta for a whole wheat version. 3 months later, Margaret had not only improved her A1C by a full point, but she also told me she had enough energy to volunteer at the local library again, something she hadn't felt up to doing in years. She hadn't gone on a diet. She had simply upgraded the quality of her carbohydrates. If you're finding this practical advice valuable, do me a favor and type a 1 in the comments. If not, a 0 will help me understand what you need more of. The third food category we need to address is one that many people rely on for a quick and easy start to their day: processed breakfast cereals. Walking down the cereal aisle of any American supermarket is a dizzying experience. The boxes are brightly colored, often adorned with health claims like made with whole grains or good source of vitamin D. But if you turn that box around and look at the nutrition label and ingredient list, you'll often find a very different story. The vast majority of these cereals, even the ones that aren't frosted or filled with marshmallows, are little more than dessert in a box. They are typically made from refined grains that have been pulverized, heated, and reshaped, a process that strips them of their natural fiber and nutrients. To make them palatable, manufacturers then load them up with staggering amounts of sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and other sweeteners. The old way of thinking was that starting your day with a light bowl of cereal and skim milk was a low-fat, healthy choice. This approach completely ignores the metabolic chaos that ensues. When a senior starts their day with a high-sugar, low-fiber meal, they are setting themselves up for a day of energy crashes and cravings. The initial sugar rush provides a quick burst of energy, but it's followed by a sharp insulin spike and a subsequent blood sugar crash just a couple of hours later. This crash often happens mid-morning, leading to a powerful craving for more sugar or refined carbs to bring those levels back up, creating a vicious cycle that lasts all day. This is why so many people who eat cereal for breakfast feel ravenously hungry by 10 a.m. Furthermore, this is not a sustainable way to fuel your body or brain. Consistent blood glucose levels are essential for cognitive function, and the spikes and dips caused by sugary cereals can contribute to the brain fog that many older adults mistakenly attribute to just getting older. The importance of revamping your breakfast cannot be overstated. Your first meal of the day sets your metabolic tone for the next 12 to 16 hours. A breakfast rich in protein, healthy fats, and fiber will promote stable blood sugar, keep you feeling full and satisfied until lunch, and provide the steady energy your brain and body need to thrive. This doesn't mean you have to spend an hour in the kitchen every morning. The solution is to replace the box of processed flakes with whole, real foods. One of the best breakfasts you can have is plain Greek yogurt, unsweetened, with a handful of berries and a sprinkle of nuts or seeds. This combination delivers high-quality protein, fiber, and healthy fats. Another excellent choice is oatmeal. Not the instant kind with added flavors and sugars, but plain rolled or steel-cut oats. They take a bit longer to cook, but you can make a large batch at the beginning of the week. Top your oatmeal with cinnamon, which has been shown to help improve insulin sensitivity, and some chopped walnuts for a dose of omega-3 fatty acids. Eggs are another breakfast powerhouse. Scrambled, poached, or as an omelet packed with vegetables like spinach and bell peppers, they provide top-tier protein that anchors your blood sugar for hours. Consider the story of David, a 78-year-old widower living in San Diego, California. David's wife had always prepared their meals, and after she passed, he fell into the habit of eating a bowl of healthy bran flakes every morning because it was easy. He felt his energy waning, and his doctor warned him that his pre-diabetes was on the verge of becoming full-blown type 2 diabetes. During a consultation, we uncovered that his chosen healthy cereal contained 15 grams of sugar per serving, and he was pouring himself at least 2 servings. That's 30 grams of sugar before 8 a.m. I suggested he try a simple alternative, 2 scrambled eggs with a side of half an avocado. He was hesitant, worried about the cholesterol in the eggs, an outdated concern that has since been largely debunked, but he agreed to try it for a week. The result was astonishing. David reported that for the first time in years, he wasn't desperately searching for a snack mid-morning. He felt clear-headed and had enough energy to take his dog for a long walk on the beach, a ritual he had cherished with his wife but had abandoned due to fatigue. His blood sugar levels stabilized, and at his next checkup, his doctor was thrilled with his progress. David learned that a truly healthy breakfast wasn't about what was advertised on a box, but about the real, nourishing food he chose to put on his plate. Is this making sense? Let me know by typing a 1 in the comments if this is helpful, or a 0 if it isn't. Your feedback is incredibly important. Let's move on to our 4th category, a type of food that holds a special place in the heart of American comfort cuisine, but can be devastating to our health: fried foods. This includes everything from the obvious culprits like French fries, fried chicken, and onion rings to less obvious items like breaded fish fillets, certain types of donuts, and many restaurant appetizers. The problem with these foods is twofold. First, they are typically coated in a batter made from refined flour, which, as we've already discussed, is a fast-acting carbohydrate that will spike your blood sugar. Second, and more insidiously, is the oil they are fried in. Commercial frying is almost always done in industrial seed oils like corn, soybean, or canola oil, which are high in inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids. When these oils are heated to high temperatures, they create harmful compounds, including trans fats, which are notoriously bad for heart health. The old way of thinking might have been that as long as you account for the calories, a little fried food now and then is harmless. However, for a senior managing blood sugar and cardiovascular health, the impact is far more significant than just calories. The combination of refined carbohydrates and inflammatory fats is a perfect storm for developing insulin resistance. Frequent consumption of fried foods has been directly linked in multiple studies to an increased risk of type 2 diabetes and heart disease. The inflammation triggered by these foods doesn't just affect your blood vessels, it's systemic, meaning it can worsen conditions like arthritis and contribute to overall cellular aging. It stiffens your arteries, raises your bad LDL cholesterol, and lowers your good HDL cholesterol. Essentially, you're eating a meal that directly contributes to the exact health conditions that seniors are most vulnerable to. Protecting your health requires a shift away from this damaging cooking method. The importance of this change extends beyond blood sugar. It's about safeguarding your entire cardiovascular system. The good news is that you don't have to give up your favorite foods, only the way they are prepared. The solution is to embrace healthier cooking methods that enhance flavor without the destructive effects of deep frying. Roasting and baking are fantastic ways to achieve a delicious, crispy texture. You can toss vegetables like broccoli or sweet potato wedges with a little olive oil and herbs and roast them in the oven until golden brown. An air fryer is a phenomenal modern invention that can give you that satisfying fried texture using only a tiny fraction of the oil. You can make wonderfully crispy, fried chicken, fish, and even French fries with this appliance. Other great methods include grilling, broiling, steaming, and sautéing. These techniques preserve the nutrients in your food and avoid the creation of harmful compounds associated with high-heat deep frying. I had a patient, a lovely 72-year-old woman named Carol from Charleston, South Carolina, who was famous in her family for her fried chicken. It was her signature dish at every family gathering, but Carol had recently been diagnosed with heart failure and her diabetes was poorly controlled. She was devastated at the thought of giving up her cherished tradition. We talked about alternatives, and her son bought her an air fryer for her birthday. Carol was deeply skeptical, calling it a space-age gizmo. But not wanting to disappoint her son, she decided to try her recipe in it. She used a light coating of whole wheat flour mixed with her classic seasonings and a light spray of avocado oil. The result, in her own words, was a miracle. The chicken was juicy on the inside, crispy on the outside, and, to her surprise, everyone in the family loved it. They couldn't believe it wasn't deep fried. Carol not only found a way to continue her beloved tradition in a heart-healthy way, but this one change inspired her to explore other healthier cooking methods. Her health improved dramatically, proving that you can adapt the traditions you love to support the life you want to live. If this tip has inspired you to rethink your cooking methods, please let me know with a 1 in the comments. If this wasn't relevant to you, type a 0. Finally, let's address the 5th and final food category that can silently derail your blood sugar goals: packaged and processed snack foods. This is a vast and tempting category that includes cookies, crackers, chips, granola bars, and microwave popcorn. These items are the epitome of convenience, but they are nutritional minefields. They are specifically engineered by food scientists to be hyper-palatable, meaning they hit the pleasure centers in our brains with a perfect combination of salt, sugar, and unhealthy fats, making them almost addictive. The problem with the old everything in moderation advice is that these foods are designed to be difficult to eat in moderation. They are calorie-dense but nutrient-poor, offering a quick hit of satisfaction but leaving you with no real sustenance. The ingredient lists on these products are often a roll call of blood sugar enemies. They are typically based on refined flour and loaded with various forms of sugar, corn syrup, dextrose, sucrose, unhealthy fats, hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils, i.e. trans fats, and a host of artificial flavors and preservatives. Even snacks marketed as healthy, like many granola bars or baked whole grain crackers, can be packed with hidden sugars and refined carbohydrates. These foods provide a rapid-fire assault on your system, spiking your blood sugar and insulin levels, promoting inflammation, and contributing to weight gain. For seniors whose metabolic flexibility is naturally reduced, relying on these processed snacks can make stable blood sugar control feel like an impossible task. They provide a fleeting moment of pleasure at the cost of long-term health and vitality. It is critically important to clear your pantry of these items and restock with real, whole food snacks that nourish your body instead of just satisfying a craving. The solution is to plan ahead and have healthy options readily available so you're not caught off guard by hunger. Some of the best snacks for blood sugar control include a handful of raw, unsalted nuts, like almonds or walnuts. They are packed with healthy fats, protein, and fiber. A hard-boiled egg is a perfectly portioned, portable snack that is rich in protein. A small apple with a tablespoon of almond butter provides a wonderful balance of fiber, healthy fat, and natural sweetness. Other great options include celery sticks with hummus, a small bowl of plain Greek yogurt, or olives. The key is to choose snacks that contain a combination of fiber, protein, and healthy fats. This trio works together to slow digestion, stabilize blood sugar, and keep you feeling full and satisfied for hours. Think of someone like George, an 85-year-old retired accountant from Phoenix, Arizona, who I worked with. George was a creature of habit. Every afternoon at 3 p.m., he would have 2 pre-packaged oatmeal cookies and a cup of coffee. He thought it was a harmless treat, but his blood sugar would invariably be over 200 milligrams or DL by dinner time, leaving him with no appetite for a healthy meal. We made a simple swap. Instead of the cookies, I asked him to try a small handful, about a quarter cup, of almonds and a few black olives. At first, he grumbled that it didn't feel like a treat. But after a few days, he noticed a profound difference. His 5 p.m. blood sugar reading dropped into the 140s. He no longer felt that shaky, irritable feeling in the late afternoon. Best of all, he had a healthy appetite for his evening meal. George discovered that the true treat wasn't the fleeting sweetness of the cookie, but the sustained energy and sense of well-being that came from fueling his body properly. This is our final point. If you found it helpful, please type 1 last time. If not, please type 0. Your feedback has been invaluable. As we draw our conversation to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've uncovered. We've seen how seemingly innocent choices, a glass of juice, a slice of white toast, a healthy cereal, a piece of fried fish, or a handful of crackers, can create a cascade of metabolic problems that rob us of our energy and vitality. We've replaced sugary drinks with refreshing infused waters, swapped refined grains for hearty and satisfying whole grains, traded sugary cereals for protein-packed breakfasts, exchanged harmful frying methods for techniques that enhance flavor and health, and cleared out processed snacks in favor of real, nourishing foods. The common thread through all these changes is a simple yet profound principle: choosing real, whole foods over processed, refined products. This isn't a restrictive diet. It is a liberating lifestyle upgrade. The most important lesson I hope you take away from our time together is that you are in the driver's seat of your own health journey. Your age is not a verdict. It is a testament to your resilience. The human body has a remarkable innate capacity to heal and regenerate, no matter if you are 7, 17, or 87. By making these strategic food replacements, you are not just controlling your blood sugar, you are sending a powerful signal to every cell in your body. You are reducing inflammation, nourishing your brain, protecting your heart, and restoring your energy. You are giving yourself the gift of more vibrant years, more precious moments with your loved ones, and the strength and independence to live your life to the fullest. So, I urge you to take action. Don't let this just be interesting information. Let it be the catalyst for transformation. Pick just one of the 5 areas we discussed today and commit to making a change this week. Maybe it's swapping your morning juice for a glass of water with lemon, or trying quinoa instead of white rice with your dinner. Start small, build momentum, and pay close attention to how you feel. The positive feedback from your own body will be the most powerful motivation you could ever ask for. I truly hope this discussion has empowered you. If it has, please consider subscribing to this channel for more practical health advice tailored for our community. Share this video with your friends, your siblings, and your neighbors, anyone in your life who you feel could benefit from this life-changing information. And please, take a moment to comment below. I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 food swaps are you going to try first? What are your biggest challenges when it comes to healthy eating? Your stories and questions build a community of support that helps us all on our journey to better health. Thank you for your time and your trust. Here's to your health, your happiness, and your vibrant future.